Hey everyone, it's Mars. So I'm adding this in before the episode proper because this one requires a little explanation. I don't have a talking or update background or anything yet, so please enjoy my official Scarlet Hollow Coffee Shop AU wallpaper. Um, so I had a little bit of a recording snafu with this episode. I sat down, I recorded this hour-long episode, and I was feeling really good about it. I got one of the new Pristine cut princesses and everything, and then I went to review the recording, and I realized I had only recorded the audio. The recording was just audio over a black screen, and this is 100% my own fault. I recently switched from another recording software to OBS, and I like OBS so much better, but I'm still not entirely used to setting up video and audio capture separately. I just straight up forgot to turn on game capture. Suffice to say, I will not be making this same mistake again in the future because this experience traumatized me so much. Um, but in the moment, I still had this episode to try and salvage, and I think I came up with a decent solution. Like, thank God Slay the Princess is a visual novel. I realized that since this game is still images, like mostly still images with just a little bit of animation, it wouldn't be too hard to go into the game again, recreate exactly what I had done before, take a lot of screenshots. You can see here 169 screenshots, not all of which even got used, but most of them. And then painstakingly edit them in over the audio I had recorded. Um, this isn't a perfect solution, of course, for a few reasons. You won't be able to see any of the little animations or the parallaxing effect or any other effects like it, although I will point them out with captions when they come up. And also, I was not about to screenshot every subtitle for every single line of dialogue. I don't have the time, guys. This is just a hobby. It's not my job. So a lot of the game dialogue is not subtitled, which is an extra big problem when every male character is played by the same actor. Uh, Luckily, Jonathan Sims does a very good job of distinguishing the four characters he plays in this episode, but it can still get confusing at points, so sorry. I'm sorry for those issues. This isn't going to be a perfect Slay the Princess experience. I almost said Slay the Spire. Whoops. But I'm still reasonably happy with how this turned out. This is the most intense editing job I've ever done for this channel, and a major upside to this is that I am no longer as scared of my editing software as I was 2 days ago. So maybe we'll see some more polished editing in the future. Who knows? So yeah, with that little preamble out of the way, I hope you enjoy this kind of unorthodox episode of Slay the Princess. I worked hard on it. Thank you for watching. Okay. Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to Slay the Princess. I am starting off in the gallery screen because I think I messed up last time. I think I was this close. I'm making a very small gap between my fingers as I say this. I think I was this close to getting the new third chapter that branches off the Spectre, and I chickened out at the last minute. Because you'll see, the vessels here seem to be listed in a particular order for the second chapter, and then the third chapters that branch off of them seem to be in the same order, same general order. Like here we have the nightmare and the moment of clarity. And then I guess very soon after we have the beast and we have the wild. Um, like the tower is here, and I think this is something that branches off of the tower. I haven't actually seen it, but this one would probably go with the Spectre. It seemed like it's one of the grays, which I know comes off the Spectre, which would mean this one would also branch off of the Spectre. It says, sometimes when you cut something out of you, a piece of you leaves with it. So what that sounds like it wanted me to do is to have her hitchhike with me, possess my body, and then at the last minute, right before we're about to leave, cut her out of our body with the knife. And I didn't do that. I took the knife, and then I didn't do anything with it. And I think I was so close to getting the new ending. So I want to be a little more careful when I do the prisoner. So I think the prisoner is here, free and abrasive prisoner. So this one, I think, is another one of the grays because it talks about flames and floods. So I'm assuming that this one is the new one. When you've seen the worst sights the prison of the world can offer, you can always choose to walk away empty-handed. So let's really think about what that might mean. I still entirely suspect that I might mess this up somehow, but let's see. So walk away empty-handed, that could just mean letting the prisoner be. Not killing her, not trying to save her or whatever, not staying with her, but just leaving. But it has that first part listed, when you've seen the worst sights the prison of the world can offer. So maybe we're supposed to look around and observe the basement a little bit before we leave. So I don't know. I'll go into the prisoner with that in mind. And I think, again, we get the prisoner by going down with the knife and then trying to free her and then successfully freeing her when the narrator takes us over. I think that's what we're supposed to do to get the prisoner.
You're on
Let's
a
do
path
that.
in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I think we've listed most of this. Let's just silently continue on to the cabin.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin.
Proceed, skip all the hero stuff.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely...
Skip, take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Enter.
The door to the basement creaks.
Let's say just checking in on you, because we are going to free her eventually, so we should, even though we have the blade, let's go into it with a friendlier countenance.
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
I hate that the narration continues even as you skip it. Are you here to kill me or something? I haven't decided yet.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
I guess this is funny because we're gonna end up doing kind of the opposite thing that we did with the witch. With the witch, we left the blade and we went down with the intention of just talking to her and hopefully freeing her, but then we changed our mind and went back to retrieve the blade. And here we're going down with our mind kind of tending towards slaying her, but then we're going to talk to her and change our minds. Let's drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
I love how even when she's like upset, she still has the big anime eyes.
We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
Do you know why I'm here? Do you know why I'm here to kill you?
That laugh. I think I'm in love.
Aww.
Stop it.
I have no idea. To be honest, I don't even know why I'm down here, or how I got here. I was kind of hoping you might be able to shed some light on the whole situation.
We can ask her the same thing again. Do you know why I'm here to kill you? There's people out there who think you're going to end the world. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Deflect? No, and if I'm being honest, I'm more inclined to trust you than I'm inclined to trust them.
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully sooner.
She's giving us the cute face now.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We could figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
I'll see what I can do.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'm gonna check upstairs. No, that'll lead to the nightmare. And if there isn't a key, do you have any ideas?
Well, you do have that big, sharp knife. You could always cut me out of here.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the
What?
basement,
I
but the
didn't
door at
wanna.
the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
I don't really know why we even turned back.
The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
It'll be nicer than her chewing herself out of there, at least. Save the princess.
Against your better judgment,
Ugh.
you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain.
Ugh, I don't like the bone sticking out. It's so gross.
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Let's approach
No,
the door.
we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world.
And the narrator's gonna turn on us. Jerk.
As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Alright. Warn her.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back. but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Resist.
The blade. Move the blade.
She's so pretty.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
She knows.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
Chapter 2, The Prisoner. Alright, before I do anything, I'm definitely gonna talk to her.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Last time I saw the prisoner, I didn't even try to talk to her. I literally just walked in and killed her right away. So it'll be nice to know what her deal really is.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Like what her personality is like. I'm getting a terrible sense of deja vu.
A terrible sense of deja vu? No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here.
You sound crazy, gaslighting son of a bitch.
Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying.
That's interesting. So the skeptic goes in for it thinking like, I think the princess is alright. Wanting to save her. And he's like, he's skeptical of the narrator. Okay, I didn't really pick up on that nuance last time.
I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago.
This is more than just deja vu, though. I'm pretty sure this whole thing really just happened.
We could go back and forth on this forever, and it won't get you any closer to doing your job and saving the world. So let's just agree to disagree.
Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two
Just to hear
very
this
different
skeptic?
Let's say if you're back here, the absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess.
Yeah, not only did I not listen to you, I resisted your attempts to force my body to do something. So, yeah, you could say I didn't listen to you.
You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all.
He's revealing just how thin-skinned he is.
Sure you are.
Love it. This is just gonna be the skeptic and the narrator, like, going back and forth, isn't it?
Anyway, I believe your second question... What do you mean? Yes, but in this, if it's the latter, do you think the people... What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are.
I have never been able to work out what the narrator's relationship to the protagonist is. You'll notice I've been avoiding, like, naming the protagonist, even though I definitely know what his name is. Just in case there's anyone who has never seen this game at all before and doesn't want to be spoiled. But I've never been able to suss out what exactly the narrator's relationship to the protagonist is. Is he another part of us? He has the same voice actor. and only we can hear him. The princess can't hear him unless, like in the last episode, she possesses us and becomes part of us. But he seems like a separate entity. He doesn't seem like... He's definitely not on our side. He's not a coping mechanism like the voices are. Like, he confuses me. He's the part of the story that I really don't have a grasp on.
You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts.
Talk about the
Just be
princess.
quick about it.
The only reason she was even able to kill me last time is because I let her, and all she did was slit my throat. How is she supposed to end the world?
She just can.
She just can. That's
You
the
haven't
same.
given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right? What proof could you possibly ask for? Literally anything. Fine. Check your pockets.
I remember this. I remember this. This is funny.
You put your hands in your pockets and pull out an envelope with the words, "The Evidence," written across the front. Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth."
His handwriting is so shitty. Unless that's just what Amy Howard's Abby Howard, sorry. Unless that's just what Abby Howard's handwriting looks like. In which case, I'm sorry, Abby. It's beautiful.
That doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't just forge our handwriting? I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes. Please just trust that these rules are in place for a reason. I'm on your side. You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to? Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting the world at risk. I think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get.
Alright, let's all
Great. Now we...
proceed.
A warning. She will lie. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
He's actually really funny. I like the skeptic. I like this dynamic a lot. I guess I didn't pay much attention to it last time.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison.
Black Tabby put out a poll recently asking everyone to put the voices in order of their favorite to least favorite, and I don't think I put the skeptic very high, but honestly, I'm thinking he deserved third spot after Broken and Cold, because I guess he didn't leave an impression on me the first time I played, but now I'm really enjoying him.
The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
This whole cabin is different from last time.
Very different. Yes, but why? Did he change it? Or did it change all on its own? Maybe it's a different cabin entirely. Now isn't that a novel thought? Maybe you haven't actually been here before. I hope this means you'll finally drop your ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Don't get distracted by minor details.
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
I don't think it looks ridiculous. I think we're admiring the stonework.
But there was a mirror a second ago, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Alright, let's just enter the basement, not take the blade.
I'm afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade.
Aw, damn
We're
it.
in a dangerous situation, and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon.
Okay.
Are you sure? She killed us with it last time. What if she turns it against us again? Yes, I'm sure, and I've already got a plan for that. Still
You
with
do?
those past life delusions, are we? I hope part of that plan is don't give the world any monstrosity your only weapon, because unless you've decided to arm the princess, I don't think you need to worry about her having a weapon. Peachy, we'll be fine. Okay, I'm trusting you.
Don't I get a say here? What's the big idea?
Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it a reflex. We take the knife as we go.
Okay, I don't like that.
Wonderful. You do exactly that, sweeping the blade from the table before proceeding to the basement. Don't worry about it. We have a knife, so what? It's not like we have to use it. No, you don't have to do anything, but you do well to use it regardless. Moving on.
Are we gonna use it to free her from her chains in this one? But how? She has something around her neck, doesn't she?
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. So much for cutting her out of here.
I like the way her eyes are drawn here.
Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless. That was there last time too, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't remember that.
It was.
Really? Am I blind? How have I never noticed that before?
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
So we have the option of leaving the princess in the basement right now. Hold on, When you've seen the worst sights the prison of the world can offer, you can always choose to walk away empty-handed. Can we talk to her and then leave? That's kind of what I want to do. Hold on, I think I'm gonna save. And then I'm gonna sit and talk with her, and if this doesn't work, I'm gonna try this option.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
Fair.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
Sit where you were told to sit.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
My intentions, what do you mean?
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, so I'm afraid my only way out is surgical removal.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck?
Her neck is very thin.
Or does she think she'd survive a beheading? You're right.
Ugh.
Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her.
I don't really want to behead her.
Unless she really could survive.
But now you're not being skeptical. You're not being skeptical at all.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. but I don't think that's in either of our best interests.
She's very cold. How am I supposed to cut you out if you didn't notice your head is in a shackle too?
No, no. Like I trust you to come any closer with that knife. All you're going to do is hand it to me and watch me work.
Ugh, I don't want to watch you cut your own head off.
But she would have to cut her head off, right? She can't be suggesting that.
She certainly seems confident. Maybe she knows something we don't.
Or maybe you should consider the most likely scenario. She's bluffing so she can disarm you.
Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us.
So, what should we do?
I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons.
Both of them are both the prisoner and the skeptic are very clinical. Interesting pair we have here. So I'm trying to figure out what the coping mechanism here. They tried to escape together, the hero and the princess. But some oppressive force shut the door on them, tried to force me to kill her, and I don't know, they're just kind of trying to calculate how they can avoid that from happening again. Like, I think the extra chains around her represent the narrator in this situation, this oppressive force that's trying extra hard to keep her locked up here. I don't know.
Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you. That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none.
The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. And whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
That chain on the wall, who is it for?
I don't know, but you could always try it on.
So yeah, I know that's one option here. We put the chain on ourselves and stay with her.
Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Okay, so we still can't just leave her. We can give her the knife or cut her out on our own. I'm guessing she's really the only one who can cut her own head off successfully. What happened after I died the last time?
Oh, are we talking about that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But sure, I'll fill you in.
Yeah, she's very cagey.
Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them. And now you're back.
So, how does the looping work for her? It happens when we die. Is there something that has to happen to her to trigger it? Not her dying. Maybe it's just us dying, and then she gets pulled around the different worlds according to our whims.
Is that really all she knows?
It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
I guess what you said back in the woods really was true. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things.
It's complicated things how, exactly?
Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
A contingency for what?
For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else. I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
Now hold on, if you knew this could happen, why didn't you believe us back in the woods?
I was thinking the same
Why
thing.
lay out all those hypotheticals? We didn't have to talk in circles.
I needed you to believe this was your first time here, even if that wasn't the truth. I hoped if I pushed back hard enough I could cram this seeping mess back into the bottle. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't.
Aww, trying to make me feel bad for him.
I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky. So don't waste that luck by messing it up again. Alright?
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
Ugh.
I won't.
Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
Alright, let's say... I'm not giving you a weapon. In case you've forgotten, you killed me with it last time.
But sure, let's talk about what happened. Because what happened is exactly my issue. The last time we met, your body tried to kill me. If you take a moment to imagine yourself in my position, I think you'll understand why letting you near me with that thing is untenable.
And here's the thing, she realizes that letting us get close to her last time was a mistake because we tried to kill her. But she has no agency in the situation. I'm listening to her now, but she's so shackled up. We could do whatever the hell we wanted. Like, she says letting you near me with that thing, but you're not letting me do anything. I can do whatever I want.
So, be a good bird and hand it over. And if being nice isn't enough motivation, well, I think you're aware that I'm not afraid to resort to violence. If you come near me with that thing, I will strangle you with these chains.
Oh, jeez.
She doesn't beat around the bush, does she?
Okay. So that's an option.
Yes, it's almost like she's a fundamentally bad person who wishes to inflict pain on others.
I kind of want to see that happen, but...
Or it's another bluff.
Or
No hard
maybe he's
feelings,
right.
of course. But you should be aware of my position.
You're the one in chains. If anyone should be negotiating here, it's you, not me. Able to negotiate?
Usually you'd be right. But this isn't exactly a usual situation. I'm not someone you can wait out. You'll find that I'm extremely patient.
Alright, I'm just gonna leave her. If you're so movable, then I'm just gonna leave you here. Bye.
I think you'll regret this.
The door locked behind us the last time we tried that, remember?
As if by divine will, just as you finish the thought, you hear a door slam. I'm afraid you won't be leaving until the task is finished. It doesn't matter how many chains she's in, without your intervention, she'll find a way out eventually.
Okay, so maybe we should have just left immediately.
That's not fair. Unless you deal with her right here, right now, she will remain an existential threat to the entire world. What seems unfair to you is fair for everyone else.
Huh. So it's not even safe to think. I see how it is.
I told you that you'd regret saying that, but I didn't think you'd regret it so fast, and with so little effort on my part. I guess we're stuck together.
Let me out of here. Open
You
the
have
door.
everything you need to deal with her and save the world. I'm sure the door will open as soon as you finish your incredibly important task. Doesn't sound like we'll be able to talk him into letting us leave.
Yeah, not a chance he's single-minded about this. But don't worry, there are plenty of things that aren't in his control.
Oh? For instance?
Us. Her. But mostly us. If he didn't have his limits, we wouldn't be here. Not like this.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna make another save so we can come back to this. And now I'm gonna go here. No. Hold on. Load. I'm gonna load this. Yes. I'm not sure I need to do much of anything. Do you see how locked up she is? I'm just gonna leave her here.
The door locked behind us.
As if by divine... That's not fair. Unless you deal with her.
Huh. So it's...
How surprising.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this save then. Alright. Alright. When you've seen the worst sights the prison of the world can offer, you can always choose to walk away empty-handed. Maybe we need to see her with her head cut off. And then not save her. And then just leave her there. Yeah, maybe we need to see her beheaded. Maybe that's the worst sight the prison of the world can offer. And then we leave. But I'm gonna cut her out on my own, and if this doesn't work, I'll go back to this save. If you want to leave, I'm gonna be the one with the weapon. Deal with it.
Do you think these chains take away my saying things? I said no.
As you move towards the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists. In an instant, they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly. The metal chains constrict around your windpipe as the princess heaves with a muscled intensity.
Drop the knife or you die.
What is she doing? We weren't trying to attack her.
I can see where she might have gotten the wrong idea. She doesn't have much agency here. Would we have trusted her if she walked up to us with a blade again, after what happened between us?
How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's not armed, and you have your pristine blade. End her before she ends you.
Drop it.
As your weapon falls pathetically to the floor, the princess releases you from her stranglehold, shoving you away with a swift kick. Your hands test the bruised flesh of your neck as you regain your senses, watching with a dazed expression as the princess snatches up the blade.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
She pulls
Oh,
up her
God.
hair, smiling slightly, as she raises the blade to her throat.
Oh god.
You can stay right where you are for this next part.
What is she doing?
I'm scared.
She doesn't say another word as she cuts into her own.
Yikes.
No.
We're gonna watch. We need to see the horrible sights.
Her eyes stare forward, unblinking, as she
Ugh.
saws through skin,
Oh.
veins, cartilage. At last she reaches bone, the blade grinding audibly against her vertebra as it continues to slice its way through her neck.
Yuck.
I'll be damned. She's actually doing your job for you. How would she do that? Huh.
So that's her play.
Killing herself?
She isn't dead yet.
Finally, you hear a
Ugh.
snap. Her eye twitches. There's an uneasy silence. She remains motionless for a long moment, her twitching eye the only movement in the room, until at last it stops in an unsettling half-wink. Her head
Ugh.
twists slowly to the side, flopping to her shoulder, and her neck opens. The remaining tissue is not enough to hold the weight of her severed head. It stretches and tears until finally it falls to the floor, completely free. It bounces a few times before rolling to a stop at your feet. Oh no, what did we do? Can we put it back? Please, Tell me we can put it back. The princess's eyes stare up at you. Dead. Congratulations. You saved the world.
Yay!
Huh. So I guess that's it. What a way to go. But she is gone, isn't she?
I hate this. Can we just get out of here now, please? Of course, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
Now hold on, she's dead. So what's the rush? What's your angle?
I don't have an angle. I'm just looking forward to putting all this behind us. I'm sure you can understand that.
Look, I'm just not ready to put my guard down. It's best to keep sharp. She wouldn't have done all that without some kind of reason. She's left us with this dangling thread. I need to know why.
You're just wasting your energy. The danger has passed, and now we can all relax and enjoy your reward.
Alright. Okay, here it is. Leave empty-handed. Leave the basement or take the princess with you. We're gonna leave the basement to claim our reward.
Fine. But if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it.
With your work done, you remove the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. You can think of it as sealing yourself off from an unpleasant chapter of your life. It's all uphill from here.
The windows. Do you see that? We used to be able to see the outside world from up here, but now it's just empty. The door. Check the door.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
You don't have to act surprised. You can see this vast emptiness through the windows.
We could. Alright, so I think we're gonna get another visit from the cold in whatever our third chapter is. Because this is gonna end the same way our, which was it? The Spectre run. That's gonna end the same way that did.
But if everything's gone, does that mean we're not gonna get our reward? This is your reward. An eternity of bliss, if you'll have it. And I suggest that you have it. Okay. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
Like hell it is.
That's bullshit. Let us out of here.
What's done is done. And there's no going back now. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier.
Decades? No, it can't be decades. We can't go along with this. We can't let him win.
What do you suggest then?
We still have a blade. Let's use it on ourselves and start over.
He's suggesting you kill yourself. You shouldn't kill yourself when you have an eternity of bliss right in front of you.
Slay ourselves.
You goddamn spiteful bastard. Are you really going to turn down immortality itself just to make me lose?
Let's not have this whole same drawn-out rigmarole we had with the Spectre.
Why should it matter if we die at this point? Haven't you already gotten what you want?
I don't have to answer that.
That's all we needed to hear.
You raise the blade, then drive it into your heart. You collapse to the floor, everything goes dark, and you die. You're a genocidal maniac, you know that, right?
How? We left everyone else alive.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
The cage! Yes, this is new. This is new with the pristine cut. Yes, we did it.
You're on a path in the wood. Chains everywhere. This is different. This is new.
The paranoid's here.
It's worse is what it is.
We're finally starting to see reality for what it is. This place is a prison. And she's not the only inmate.
I guess the paranoid and the skeptic are kind of offshoots of each other. Yeah?
You're acting like reality is this static thing. But this world is constantly changing around us. How can you be so sure that you aren't breathing the prison into existence? That by feeling the walls closing in on you, that's exactly what they do.
Oh, the music is new too. It's got bells. I love it. Oh, and sounds of chains dragging on the floor. Oh, I'm loving this already.
What a crock of pretentious bullshit. Reality is as solid as the ground beneath our feet. And if we just examine it, if we apply enough scientific rigor, if we think hard enough, we'll find a way out of here for good. Don't you see? We're already making progress.
I guess they're not offshoots of each other so much as they are exact opposites. Orthogonally opposed, you know?
But what if looking at it is enough to make it change? Where does that leave us?
It leaves you exactly where you are right now, and presumably exactly where you've been before. I'll spare you my full introduction since you've clearly already heard it at least once, but I would like to remind you that the people in my world are living, breathing, suffering entities and not pawns for you to sacrifice in pursuit of some vague truth.
So he admits it's not our world. Shall we talk about how we still have the blade? We've never started with the blade before. I didn't even notice.
Huh. I hadn't actually noticed.
We're on the same page, Skeptic.
Holding it's starting to feel natural, isn't it?
Of course it feels natural. We've had it with us every time. We've made it part of us. Don't be weird. It's just a tool, not some mystical object. Though starting with it feels like an indication that we're on the right track.
This is strange. You're not supposed to start with the blade. It says right here that you're supposed to find it at the cabin. Oh well, I suppose that doesn't make much sense anyway. It's better if you start with a weapon, so this is probably for the best.
We can toss it into the woods. Are you sure we even need to slay her? She cut off her own head last time.
She... what? Why would she ever do that? She's not supposed to be suicidal. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. More importantly, if she did cut her own head off, why are you here? You shouldn't have died. You should be enjoying your reward.
We killed ourselves, obviously. You were insisting that we were happy, but we knew we weren't. We could see right through you. Yeah, what he said. We weren't about to be stuck somewhere being fed non-stop bullshit forever. We want answers. We weren't gonna find them in your fake little paradise.
There are no answers to find. If she was dead, then that was it. That was the solution. All you managed to do was reset the board. And you put the pieces back all wrong while you were at it. This is probably worse for you, if I had to guess.
Ha! So there is a board.
Well, what's done is done and you're here now. There's no use arguing. Just get to the cabin and settle this. Try not to kill yourself this time.
Alright, we can toss the weapon into the woods. Huh. You know what? I tried not to take it last time. I kind of want to see what happens if we toss it into the woods.
Are you serious? The blade is your implement. You're going to need it if you want to do things right. We can't toss it. It's the only way we can protect ourselves. It's an extension of us, and we shouldn't go around throwing our pieces away.
He's right. Weird, but right. Don't you dare.
Okay, you strong-armed me into it. No, 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 I'm doing it.
Are you even listening to me? Does my opinion count for nothing? We're never getting out of here if you don't listen. I'm intervening. We're not tossing the blade.
Jeez, man. You know, I'm in charge, and I say we're tossing the blade. You had your chance last time. We all saw how that worked out for us.
Too bad. This is a mutiny.
Hey, you can't just do that. We're not supposed to be able to make our own decisions.
Yeah? Well, I did it last time.
Wow, he's powerful. I like that.
What if I stop you? Maybe I can make choices too.
Oh, this is like what happens when you try to kill the tower. The hero fights back against a mutinying voice.
Good luck with that. I've got backup this time, haven't I?
Yeah, alliance of convenience. We're not throwing it away. It's important.
I'm liking these dynamics between the paranoid and the skeptic.
Hey, what are you... Are you serious? That's no fair. Let me go.
Oh. What are they doing to him?
Sorry. Has to be done.
Are they gonna kill him? Are you seriously not letting me toss it real mature? When this goes sideways, it's on the two of you. Fine, then I guess we're keeping it. What are they doing to the hero?
Great. Was that so hard? We need to keep our wits sharp. Yes, you've made the right choice. The blade is the only control we have in this world. Yes, great. Now, will you get to the cabin already? In case you've forgotten, the princess, the fate of the entire world, etc., etc.
Okay, so that's really interesting. I didn't get rid of the blade, but I think I might have lost something even more important there. The hero. Oh my god, that's really cool. Unless he pipes up again at some point. I could be jumping the gun here, but oh wow, that's really interesting. Let's silently proceed to the cabin.
You stand at the edge of a cliff. An abyss yawns beneath you, empty and endless. The only path forward, a rusted metal bridge. The cabin looms on its far side. I think you already know what waits for you within. It's like the world itself doesn't want us to reach her.
There's nothing to find out here. Time to check in with the missus.
The old ball and chain, huh? Huh? With all... I feel like that's the joke they're going for there.
I'm going to pretend you didn't just call her that.
Proceed. That's the only time ball and chain jokes referring to a wife has ever been funny. Just then when I said it.
Every surface of the cabin is draped in chains, the air filled with the mock birdsong of metallic clinks. Where there should be walls, you can see only endless ropes of metal, with hooks dangling from their ends. A fitting cage for a monster, destined to end the world.
Is her head gonna be off? When we see her?
There's nothing for you to do but step forward into the basement. You already have your weapon. Your objective awaits.
Huh. That mirror's back again. Why?
What mirror? There is no mirror. The only thing of note here is the door to the basement.
It clearly serves some purpose, but what? Is there something about us we're supposed to see? Can it be a tool of some kind?
Or is it a distraction? Something meant to confuse us? Can we please stop talking about the mirror? I'd rather not spend more time in this room than I have to. It's creepy.
He's back. I did jump the gun. It would have been really cool if that's the difference between tossing the blade and not tossing the blade, or at least choosing to toss the blade or not toss it, is whether or not the hero is there in this chapter. Missed opportunity, Black Tabby.
You step out onto the floor. Or what should have been a floor.
Are we gonna fall through the chains?
Should have been? Yes, unfortunately. You realise too late that there is no floor beneath the metal. There is only a loose web of chains suspended over some unseen space. An unseen space that you are now rapidly plummeting through. Nothing's solid here, is it? It's all just a shifting mass waiting for us to drop our guard. Your fall is suddenly, painfully halted as rusty chains pull taut against your skin, their hooks digging into your muscle. You find yourself suspended in what appears to be a vast, dark space. The glinting of yet more chains merely hinting at its full dimensions. You dangle a few feet off the bare concrete floor.
I don't like that. The hooks in my skin.
If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
Oh my god. He always says that.
As your eyes adjust to your new surroundings, you make out a figure standing in the gloom, obscured in shadow. She watches you with the stillness of the grave.
Easy now. We don't know what sort of situation we're dealing with. We should let her make the first move. Let observation give us an advantage.
so you can come back too. Are you mad at me? Why the hell did you cut your head off?
But you are met with only silence, save for the creaks and groans of metal as it sways in the stale air around you. The hooks slowly shift in your skin, the pain coming in waves as you continue to dangle helplessly.
I really don't like it. Ugh. I have a needle phobia, and the main thing with the needle phobia is I don't like the feeling of something long in my skin. My fear is like it breaking inside me if it's thin. If it's something longer, something thicker, like these hooks, it obviously it's not going to break, and obviously most medical needles are not going to break in your skin either, but like that's just the phobia talking to me. But I still generally just don't like the feeling of something digging under my skin, so this hook imagery is really bothering me, especially it shifting under my skin. Ugh.
What if the chains don't have to be real? What if they aren't real? They feel plenty real to me. Yeah, it would be nice if we could just tell ourselves the chains aren't lodged in all our joints and they'd magically go away, but I'm afraid that's wishful thinking.
Can we?
Well, maybe wishful thinking is what we need. Maybe they're real, but maybe we can cut through them.
It's worth a try.
I'm gonna do that. Try to cut yourself free.
You clumsily rotate the blade in your palm, pressing it against the chains lodged in your wrist.
Ugh.
And it slices through them, right? Right?
Yeah, what he said. It slices through.
Now hold on. Let's not rush to conclusions. How would that ever work?
Skeptic, you're the one ruining this. We all have to believe. It's like Tinkerbell. We all have to believe. And you being skeptical is not helping.
It just does?
It doesn't.
Aw, man.
Maybe the only reason it isn't working is because someone doesn't believe we can do it. They're metal chains, and nothing we've done has worked so far. Maybe if you gave me a good reason to believe we should try again, I'd believe it was worth trying again. But until then, I'm going to believe our eyes. This isn't getting us anywhere. You should believe it because you should. We don't have anything better to do.
Maybe they're rusty. He did say they were rusty, didn't he?
He did.
He did, didn't he? All right, I'm game. We cut again.
You bring your blade
Damn.
against the chains again, and this time, you manage to cut into the metal. Its hook remains embedded in your flesh, but your arm falls from the mass of chains, free from the princess's bindings.
Yes! Will you look at that? That worked. And why shouldn't the rest be the same then?
But before you can make much progress, the princess takes a step forward. As she moves, the heavy chains shift, tightening and tearing at your flesh, your joints screaming in agony as the rusted hooks dig deeper. Stars dance in your eyes as the chain wrapped around your neck threatens to choke you.
She's carrying her head in a cage.
As your vision comes back into focus, your eyes fall on the body of the princess, finally emerged from the shadows.
She's covered in padlocks.
The body of the princess is a weird way to describe a person. It's only accurate. The form in front of you is a body, draped in raiments of chains, her head dragging along behind her in an iron cage. The head stares up at you but says nothing, and the chains squeeze ever tighter.
Just keep going. She's a head in a cage. We're not going to be able to talk our way out of this. The only thing we can do is keep soaring our way to freedom.
Keep cutting. She's not going to respond. I like this. I've only ever tried to help you, but She's not going to respond. Keep cutting.
Yes, the links are weak. They can't handle the strain. Isn't that right? You know, it's rather annoying for you to dictate what I'm going to say next.
But is that what happens? Do the links break?
Yes. Luckily for you, they were too thoroughly rusted to hold much longer. Your other arm breaks free. The body takes another step towards you. The chains around you tightening.
Oh no.
The hooks boring deeper into your flesh. They constrict dangerously around your throat. You find it harder to breathe.
I don't think she's happy you're here. But what do I know? I'm just a set of eyes and ears.
Oh, she can talk.
I don't make choices. At least not any that matter.
She's like one of our voices. You can make choices like that matter, like the skeptic did.
She won't kill us if we just keep cutting. We just have to get our neck free.
You made that decision. Are you talking about your body as if it's a separate person? It's you. This is the same issue with the voices. Let's cut ourselves free. I mean, I kind of want to say something. Now that she's actually talking. You've made choices and you've never stopped. You're choosing violence right now.
You're not looking at things right. Your eyes are fixed on the distraction instead of on the hand working the illusion.
I see. You know, maybe she's onto something. Maybe being ahead means you can really focus on figuring out the truth.
Oh, don't you start.
Everything we witness is just another shade of the same endless cycle. I wake up in chains.
The body steps forward. Your bindings tighten again.
You come to me, knife in hand.
The body steps forward. The pressure on your limbs is becoming unbearable.
Damn, I should have cut myself out.
You give me your implement.
The pressure is finally too much. Your
Aw,
fist
man.
unfolds as your joints swell with trapped blood, and your pristine blade tumbles helplessly to the ground.
I cut myself free.
She's not insane, is she? No, she's just right. It's all been the same. The whole time, it's all been the same. We never had a say.
I didn't want to take the knife with me. I was forced to. Did you want me to carry your severed head out of the cabin with me? I thought you were dead. I didn't want to take the knife with me. I was forced to. Yes, good point. I didn't want to either time.
So you understand exactly how unfair this all is. Give in with me. None of this is up to us.
Yeah, I see the parallels. She's being lugged around by this body, who's another part of her. It's almost like a voice in this situation. I've talked before about how the princess has these different versions of herself, but they never coexist. But in this instance, the princess and another version of herself are coexisting. And they're coexisting in the same way that the voices are coexisting. The skeptic is overriding us. He keeps not letting us do things, even though we think we have a better idea in our head. And the same thing, her body is not letting the head make the decisions that she knows are best. So she's asking us to just give in to the lack of autonomy.
She steps forward yet again, and the chains dig into you, your nerves screaming, your heart pounding, your lungs desperate for air. I don't think we can hold on to you much longer. How many times will we have to do this? I'm tired.
This is all getting so predictable, isn't it? Pop.
Ugh. You're falling. The world is spinning. And then you hit the ground, your body light in a way that is sickeningly wrong, and roll to a stop. The sound of rattling chains and a heavy thud as the rest of what was once you falls to the ground somewhere nearby. Were we just beheaded as well? Oh, damn. You are unable to take action, unable to defend yourself, unable to even look around as the princess's body steps towards you, one slow rhythmic step after another. It stoops down to pick you up and then... Oh! A shadow rises behind the body, blade glinting. My body is acting autonomously from me.
And now, the cut.
It strikes, and it strikes true, and the body drops its cage in pain. Our bodies fighting each other, without us wanting them to. They descend on each other in a maelstrom of chains and hooks and feathers and blood. Yeah, we can see our wing. Fighting their way deeper into the shadows until all you're left to witness are the sounds of violence.
See? You only ever thought you were in control. Isn't it so much nicer to let go?
You didn't let go. I didn't let go. You ripped my head off. What are you supposed to do now? You didn't cut yourself free. My body is still the one with the knife. Doesn't that mean this is different? Doesn't that mean I broke your pattern? I thought that would be the end of me. I guess this isn't so bad. I don't think we broke the pattern. I thought that would be the end of me. I guess this isn't so bad.
I told you. It really isn't. And now nothing's stopping you from enjoying the show.
Ooh. We're seeing more of ourselves. You and the princess watch as your bodies weave in and out of the shadows, performing their lethal dance.
Look at us go. Aren't we beautiful?
Woo, we got a lot of feathers. The movement is gorgeous, primal, uninhibited. Steel crashing against steel and flesh rolling off of flesh.
It's all going to come to a head soon. Head.
And at last, the climax plays out. Your body, wreathed in chains and shadows, makes its final move, but so does hers. Chain shatters spine and blade pierces heart.
I guess I'll see you next time.
Both hers and yours collapse, their dance complete. Blood drips from the princess's mouth and she coughs.
It's cold, but that's always been us, hasn't it? Cold isn't bad.
Yep, the prisoner and the skeptic, cold, clinical, analytical. Just taking the head, leaving the body behind. You do not get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns. No exit. Remains stuck between the walls of a pattern in a steely cage. You approach the mirror. You've unraveled. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. You are at the cabin. Oh, both head and body are there.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
There's trees and stars, and there are people, I think. At least there are supposed to be people. Do we know that? I don't remember if that's dialogue I've gotten before. Do we know that because we found it as the wild?
There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last.
Do you have thoughts in this vessel?
This one is a body that convinced herself she was only a set of eyes. She will make for a watchful heart. Do not mourn her. She is now what she wished that she could be.
Someone who could see the truth? Do you think that anything out there is real out there? Do you think that we're real?
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own, and because of that, nothing can't exist.
The voices. Do you know what's going to happen when you awaken?
If I did, I would already be awake.
When you send me back, I'm not alone. There are voices that speak to me. Some of them are me, but one of them is something else. I call him the narrator, and he wants me to kill you. Do you have a narrator? Have the vessels had one?
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
He does. And when I find him, you and I are finally going to have answers. That seems like an appropriate thing to say to this vessel.
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves.
I'm ready to go back.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
Everything goes dark and you die. An open heart or a watchful one?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Alright, that was successful. We finally found some real pristine cut content. I'm really happy about that. I thought it was really, really interesting. I definitely saw the parallels between her story and ours, and I thought that was really beautifully, executed. And some of the horror stuff really did get me. The beheading was disgusting. Both beheadings were disgusting, and the hook sticking into my skin really freaked me out. So, a successful horror game and successful story and theming. I really like the cage. I'm really happy we got that. Alright, so those are the 4 princesses, the 4 Act 2 princesses who I really wasn't sure, who I really felt like I hadn't seen everything I wanted to yet. Or at least who I feel like I didn't have a good enough, understanding of them. So now it's just an issue of going back to another princess that I have seen and doing something else. I'm thinking maybe the damsel. Maybe the damsel, because I know she has something new as well with the pristine cut, and I don't really know how we'll get it. You don't need the world for your happy ending. I guess I think I'll do the damsel next time and try to figure out what this is. But until then, I have been Mars, and I will be back with more Slay the Princess.